Parselmouth picks up my locket. How curious. Harry spun around, his eyes landing on a tall, handsome boy with pale skin, jet black hair, and dark brown eyes with a strange reddish tint to them. He did not recognize him. "What are you?" he asked suspiciously, having never heard of an enchantment like this. "A memory," the stranger said softly. "Preserved in this locket for 45 years. What an interesting creature you are," he said, stepping forward. "Imagine my shock when I saw you kill that poor house elf, only to then transform into such a magnificent creature." Harry took a step back, glaring at the stranger. And here was yet another person who knew what he was. "You were watching?" he asked, confused how a memory could do something like that. The boy smiled. "Indeed. I watched you drain that mudblood. Then you went after that girl. I must say, I feel outdone. At my age, I was not as bloodthirsty as you are." "You expect me to forego eating?" Harry scoffed. The memory shrugged. "No, not really. It's just interesting. I'm Tom, by the way. Thomas Gaunt." "Harry Potter," he said cautiously, unsure if he could lie to this thing. He was in Tom's domain right now. "And your little friend?" Tom pressed. There was a shimmer before a tall being made entirely from shadow rippled into existence. It had 4 sets of crimson eyes that glowed ominously. "Hello," the creature greeted in a guttural voice. "I am Melchiresa. I have never spoken to a Lethifold before," Tom mused. "You are lucky," Melchiresa said with a malicious chuckle. "You are not made from flesh and bone. A pity." Tom tried to cover up a shudder, but only partially succeeded. "Quite," he agreed with a slight frown. He rallied quickly, turning back to Harry. "How did you come to be possessed by a Lethifold?" Harry cocked an eyebrow at him. "Are you unable to read my mind?" Tom did grimace this time. "Normally I would, but that thing is blocking my access." Melchiresa did not say anything, which only served to make Tom more uneasy. Harry snorted. "Why should I tell you anything if you won't even tell me what you really are?" Tom was quiet for a while before nodding once. "Fair enough. However, I do have information that could help you. I couldn't help but notice your attempts at doing magic. You possess the gift, but lack knowledge. I could help you, and in exchange, you could help me," he offered. Harry turned to Melchiresa. "What do you think?" The Lethifold made a noise of thought, making Tom flinch. "I do not trust him," it growled. "Make a deal if you must, but the terms must be set in stone." Harry was in full agreement. He didn't trust the memory either. Tom gave a reluctant nod. "Very well. I would like a body of my own, but I currently do not have the means to do so. The metamorph magus would make for a suitable host, since she was clearly traumatized, and her occlumency is likely weak right now." "You would possess her?" he asked, with a raised eyebrow. "It's more complicated than that," Tom said, grimacing. "I won't explain the details, but I would essentially be subsuming her soul so that I could inhabit her body." "Subsumation? That's pretty dark," Harry blurted. He'd read about the practice in the Black Library and had been curious about it. Tom looked amused. "Indeed, it should only take a few days for me to do it, since she is in a weak mental state right now." Harry hummed. "Very well, I will help you, but I want 2 things from you." Tom gave a small nod for him to continue. "First, I need an unbreakable vow from you that you will not harm me or Melchiresa, directly or indirectly." he stated calmly. The memory glowered at him. An unbreakable vow is a little excessive. Harry shrugged. Take it or leave it and stay locked up in my dresser for another 50 years. Tom's eyes flashed red, and he took a few seconds to calm himself. Your next stipulation, he bit out. Knowledge. Dora will be attending Hogwarts for her 7th year. I want lessons after class where you will help me learn the dark arts, Harry said with a malicious smile. That is agreeable, Tom finally said, though he looked a little reluctant. However, I will only accept if you and your friend swear a vow not to harm me either. Melchiresa chuckled. Smart wizard. Harry was also smirking. Tom clearly understood how to play the game. Slytherin alumni? He asked. Tom smirked back at him. Class of 1945. So, how do we do this? Harry asked, after a few seconds of comfortable silence. Since I'm effectively just a memory, my intent will matter here more than anything I do with a wand. Tom began, stepping forward. He then closed his eyes and spoke. I, Thomas Marvolo Riddlegaunt, swear that I will teach Harry James Potter the dark arts, and that I will not harm either him or Melchiresa, directly or indirectly, in return for protection against myself and the transferal of my soul to another vessel. When he was finished speaking, there was a pulse of power and a white band of magic that latched around Harry and Melchiresa, linking the three of them together. And I, Harry James Potter, swear that I will help Thomas Marvolo Riddlegaunt in his endeavor to transfer his soul to another vessel in exchange for personal lessons in the dark arts and protection for myself and Melchiresa. I will also not harm Thomas Marvolo Riddlegaunt directly or indirectly, he said, using Tom's words as a base. Another tendril of magic sprouted in the air, and the heavy presence of magic intensified, weighing down on all of them. Melchiresa was the last to speak. And I, Melchiresa, swear that I will not harm Thomas Marvolo Riddlegaunt, directly or indirectly, and I will help my host in his endeavor to help Thomas Marvolo Riddlegaunt to transfer his soul into a new vessel in exchange for protection from direct or indirect harm. A final tendril formed, twining itself through the others. The magic in the air intensified before climaxing. The white bands disappeared into each of their skin, and Harry shivered involuntarily. Tom smiled, the expression seeming genuine for the first time since their meeting. That is settled then. Harry was also smiling. He was excited to learn dark magic come September. Quite. Now, how do we leave this place? He asked. I will let you go. I'd recommend giving your cousin the locket today if you want me to be able to join you in Hogwarts faster. I am not sure how long the transferal process will take exactly, but like I said earlier, it shouldn't be long. He explained. Gotcha, Harry replied, planning on doing exactly that. With that done, he was treated to a familiar feeling as he was ejected from the locket. When he was back in his body again, Harry knew what he had to do. That wasn't a dream, right? He asked. No, I can feel the magic binding me, Melchiresa said, its voice dripping with disdain. Best get this over with then, Harry muttered, moving to stand up.